All right, welcome to Matters Arising on Last Line News this morning. And I have my guys with me, Malam Okafo and Philip Aduodogu. Welcome, guys.
Yeah, good morning.
You know, the sun always rises every morning and sets at noon.
I don't know.
Is it noon?
Or noon?
Okay, you guys are just knowing.
By
yes,
noon.
Yeah.
By noon. I don't know.
Yeah,
right.
at noon.
I think you have your own war.
Yes, I do. All right, now it's like that's what it is for Senator Ekweremadu, former Deputy Senate President. His own sun is like going to set
At noon. Okay.
You getting it?
Oh, yeah. You're a prophet.
All right, the federal government has sent a high-power delegation to the United Kingdom trying to negotiate out, since he's a high-profile Nigerian. He was a Senate President, I think, for 12 years.
Deputy Senate President.
Deputy Senate President for 12 years. You know, even under the APC government,
He was the Senate President for 4 years.
4 years,
Yes.
exactly. You know, he was involved in an organ harvesting issue concerning his daughter because they took a boy to London. But I think, should we call it politics or a part of a diplomatic issue that the federal government need to sort out? Okafo?
Yeah, if you look at the details of that case as at that time, a lot of people felt it was a law that was never tested even in the UK. And if you look at the facts of the case, it appears he had an intermediary between him and the boy. You know, there was no clear evidence that he was aware that the boy wasn't aware of what he was going to do. That is why his lawyer along the line was also jailed, I think even 10 years, while his own is 9 years. His doctor rather was jailed 10 years, while his own was jailed, himself was jailed 9 years and 8 months, and the wife 4 years thereabouts. I think the wife is done with the tenure. So if you look at the case, for the fact it has not, nobody has ever been tried under that law before, and people felt that the sentencing was much, and even though they didn't want to determine for UK, looking at the substance of the case was not organ harvesting for illegal art. It wasn't really an organ harvesting for illegal art. His son was sick. This is not to give Ike Ekweremadu credit on any other thing. His daughter was sick rather, and it was established that she truly needed an organ for replacement. So, and as a father, you know, you would want that to happen. A lot of people also said that he was trying to avoid paying so high to UK authorities, that UK authorities or UK hospitals would have been able to get kidney matching organ for him, but probably at a higher rate. And some also use it to criticize UK, saying that because that they were angry that he didn't buy the organ from them. You know, this would they like you to spend all the money you have in their economy. You know, why also criticizing you that you are corrupt, but taking the corrupt money. They never send anyone back. I saw Dino Milan the other day bashing them for keeping all the money, you know, from our leaders, while saying that we are corrupt. That somebody who also houses a corrupt material is equally or even more corrupt. So, but coming down to the face of it, Ekweremadu, as a deputy Senate president, as a senator for many years, had opportunity to influence or build a good hospital somewhere in Nigeria. They didn't need to go to UK.
Let's even say he takes it to his senatorial district.
Even though it's his senatorial district. So this, they are going to London or going to trusting foreign entities to do certain things. I think this is a good lesson. It's a good lesson for him, and also for our former, I'm from Delta State, our former governor. I learned that since they released the Iborida, he has never been to London again. That's what we gathered.
To go and do it.
You realize that now he has realized that he actually didn't need to be going to London.
Home is home.
Home is home. So this is a lesson. If Asiwaju is able to broker a deal where he comes home to finish his tenure of the prison tenure, beautiful for him. If you also say Asiwaju is trying to play politics, but if you save life and help people while playing politics, it might not really be a bad idea.
Okay, all right.
Before you ask your question, you ask whether is it diplomatic relations or is it policy. You know, it's neither here nor there, because when in diplomacy, you know, when if a citizen is being arrested in another country, especially a high-profile citizen like former Deputy Senate President, person of Ike Ekweremadu, and as at that time a city senator. What the country should do at that time is to enter into discussion. The discussion they are entering into now was supposed to be then to ensure that the man has been found wanting. They should have exploited the option of bringing him down for him to be tried here in our own law. If it is a British foreigner that was found guilty or accused of such crime, I can assure you the British government would have applied to the Nigerian government to repatriate him back to UK to be tried under the British law. They never did that. The question is, what Tinubu is doing at this point, is it politics or diplomatics? For me, it's more of politics. Yes, there's no time that is right and no time that is wrong, because we are going down to 2027 election. Of course, we know that Tinubu is not popular in the eastern region. Also, remember that going down to the 2023 general election, Ike Ekweremadu has said that Obi goes nowhere. He was vehemently against Peter Obi as at that time, and then the East turned against him. When he was apprehended in London in the issue of the organ harvesting, everybody was celebrating that his nemesis has catch up with him. So at this point, yes, the Tinubu government has taken the right step, but the question is this step taken at the right time? What is the motive behind the move? Is it for him to curry favor? Because we all know that once Ekweremadu comes to this country, he's going to be treated as a special and an elite, and we are not sure he's going to be sent to the inner prison for the 9 years he's been sentenced to. So what it means that whether Ekweremadu will be effective in politics or not, he will be in politics. It's just like the case of Farouk Lawal that was pardoned. Of course, Farouk Lawal has said that he's remained grateful to Tinubu. He will do his bit in Tinubu re-election, and that will also repeat itself in Ekweremadu if Tinubu will be able to broker it, and of course it will broker it because it's in diplomacy. It's what is done in diplomacy. Because the Nigerian citizens should come and serve his time here.
Okay, all right. Most of the time we talked about Dino Melaye talking about the Western countries not stopping the loot from our economy to that side. I saw a post just on the sideline that said that so Western countries should ban Nigeria from getting visas to their country. I laughed. I said, this is not going to ever happen. The money that is gotten from visa application to the UK, United Kingdom Embassy alone is a lot of money. And they are not about to lose that money. So most of the time, these things are not possible. Now, on the diplomatic role of it, during those times, Ekweremadu was there.
Yes.
Or apprehended.
Yes.
The laws, they have to try him because he broke the laws there. He didn't break the laws in Nigeria. Nigeria is by consent if you want to harvest an organ.
Yes.
But what the Tinubu administration is doing now, Okafor, he could have also done it in the case of Nnamdi Kanu.
Yeah, and also to get back to what he said for the government of that time not doing it, which was Buhari's time.
Administration.
You see, government always feels this temperature of the people. In this politics you talk about. As at that time, greater part, if not for the pity, or the empathy people have for Ekweremadu that it's on the matter of his daughter, virtually all Nigerians were saying, yes, God don't punish her. Let it remain there, God don't punish her. So no government with that temperature will go into negotiation of preventing the person from serving the jail term. Government always measure the temperature of the populace before they take action. They see the wife have served, now he is served to some extent. There's no strong animosity against Ekweremadu as it is, having suffered a little, and also understanding that he only had to do so because of the health of the child. So at this time, it is easier for the government to move. And when you look at essentially whether he could have done so in Nnamdi Kanu's matter, well, I said it the other time that it is possible all these things we are protesting for, that Nnamdi Kanu should be released. Maybe Asiwaju already have it by the corner, but he was just waiting for the right time to do it. Probably, do it before the election or in some form, the way it will also bring vote for him. There's no politician that doesn't play politics. You are not going to find it. And at the end of the day, also, It could be that they say it's better to quit when the ovation is loudest. He could also want to wait till Nnamdi Kanu is probably found guilty, and he decides to forgive him.
Sentence.
Yeah, sentence, and he decided to commute it and okay, forgive him. So it looks like he really did something for him.
He allowed the judiciary to work.
He allowed the judiciary to work. So if he goes ahead to shortcut the judiciary, it means that the entire process of bringing him, executive authority, have breached into the functioning of the judiciary. You can also look at it that way. But the idea now is that the extradition, which was improperly done, we also want whether our court can actually try somebody, when the process leading to this extradition was not properly done. The entire judiciary is actually on trial, to be honest. That is why, on my own, if not that, keeping somebody, maybe he is to be allowed bail, so he has his freedom while the case is on trial. I would have loved that case. Let's have a precedent. Let that case go through all trial, because you don't go kidnapping somebody because you want to try the person. It doesn't make sense. It's like using illegality to press it legality. How does it stand? How do you use illegality to break the chain of legality? How does it work? I would advocate for Nnamdi Kanu being released, being granted so he has his freedom, but let that case be tried out. Let us see if you can go to a foreign country, extradite the person illegal. The extradition doesn't even qualify, because extradition involves filing a case, processes in the court of the country where the person is in, and the court will sit a judge, will actually make a pronouncement, and the person will be properly ferried down. The procedure leading to the ferrying, we had in rumor that he was drugged or there's some sedation or something, things like that. I mean, that is unbecoming of a lawful country, So we want that case to go through in some form, but let his freedom be granted. If Asiwaju decides to come in, fine. If he's also decided to shortcut the entire judicial process, fine. But we'll lose the opportunity of knowing whether you can actually, use any means, get somebody, then put the person into a lawful process. I don't know how it works.
If you look very well, Philip, you see that the first time somebody was trying to be forcefully brought back to this country was Umar.
I was going to say that.
And that was the era of Buhari.
Yes.
The same Buhari, it looked as if it's a stock in trade for him.
And now the Buhari is engraved.
And because power is transient.
Even life itself is transient.
Now, he did the same to Nnamdi Kanu, went to Kenya and bundled him to Nigeria without due process. I mean, the judiciary in itself has been on trial. Now, let's look at it. The judiciary is an arm of government.
On its own.
On its own. It's like they forget who they are. Both the judiciary, the legislature, and the executive. Nobody has power more than the other one. That's the real truth.
Yeah.
They can have checks and balances. Do you understand? Now that the judiciary, in fact, I'm not the one that's saying that it's not living up to expectation. From all that we are seeing, they are not living up to expectation.
No, the CJN said it.
Exactly.
Ekweremadu said it.
Now, the judiciary under trial. Court case here, getting a judgment here, going to another state, getting another judgment, writing the NJC to squash the... I mean, the judiciary, how can they live up to expectation?
Good question. That question is meant for the judiciary to answer. How can they live to expectation? One. Secondly, that question is left for the Nigerian people to answer. Why? Because the judiciary, who appoint them, how are they appointed? Before now, for you to become a high court judge, you must have been called to the Nigerian bar for 10 years, and you must have practiced law in that jurisdiction for 10 years, and you must be recommended by sitting judges and lawyers, and even from your local MBA branch, to say that you are a man of integrity and character, who had shown decisive in practice, who has shown honesty, who has shown interest for the law. But what do we have today? How did the judges become judges today? The story is everywhere. The retired chief judge, before he left, he appointed his daughter-in-law, son-in-law, and politicians bring their persons and all of that. Go and check all the names of the judicial officials. They are one way or the other related to the sitting, to the politicians in power. So if you influence my appointment as a judge, and your matter comes before my court, what do you think I would do? You see, this is the problem. The judiciary, how will they save themselves from this embarrassment? I think they should go back to the process of appointing their official. That's where the problem is. That's the root of the cause. Because if you allow the politician to have influence who become a judge, you don't expect much from those judges that are going to be presiding. It's true. There are lawyers everywhere, and lawyers have relation and all of that. But there are also lawyers who have shown true character and honesty and integrity. They are there, but they can never get anywhere near the judiciary. I know of a man, one barrister A.O. Giwa of Blessed Memory from from the Ukpila Aziz. He was a law lecturer in Desu, one of the first law lecturers there. He wanted to be in the bench at all costs. Nobody gave it. He wanted to be a senior advocate. He's a honest man. He's a straightforward. He's a Muslim. He's what it is. I know him personally. So there are a lot of people like that are out there that would have sanitized the judiciary. They will never get near the bench. So this is the problem. The problem is the mode of appointment. Who influenced the appointment? This is what has put the judiciary on trial. If you go through the history of the judiciary today, from the chief judge down to the list to the magistrate, they will tell you how they get to where they are today. And when you look at that history, that road, you can't get anything better than what you're having.
All right, Okafor, we see the judges that have, on a normal day, the president has his benefits, his rights and his benefits. Then he has obligations to the people of Nigeria. The same thing with the judges is enshrined in our constitution.
Yeah.
When the executive begin to get out of their way to try to please the judges, don't you think is a way of hand-winking?
Like you please the judges in which form?
For example,
building houses for them.
Building houses for them.
You see, the independence.
Exactly.
The independence of the judiciary has always been at the forefront. Why is it that it's the executive that should even build the houses for them? When you say somebody is independent and is not financially independent, is the person really independent? So I think that those fundamental questions need to be asked. You remember, it was a war between Obasanjo and Galioma Abadam and Co. at that time, whether the executive should appropriate for National Assembly. National Assembly fought them to stand still.
I say that they
appropriate for themselves because they are an arm of government of themselves. Yes. But judiciary have not been able to establish that level of independence.
Okay, so hold on.
And now I'm also coming.
I will let you comment.
Okay.
Now, the judiciary in sending in their budget, which is a statutory right of the judiciary, they send their budget. Why can't they quote for judges?
Hold on now. Look at the legislature that is practicing it. When you hear budget padding today, people will tell you that there's actually nothing like padding. What you call padding is the appropriation from the National Assembly members themselves. So it also has a cost. It also has implication. So you see that the executive will present budget, go into National Assembly for checks and balancing. Before it comes out, the budget becomes very fat. Do you understand? And in Nigeria, we're saying padding. The legislature have decided to bring in their own appropriation, controlled by themselves. So it also has a cost. It has another end to it. But that said, just because in Nigeria we see government property as the being owned by the person who is administering it at that time. If Wike is building houses for judges, the money does not belong to Wike. Wike has no capacity. He cannot do business. I don't think he has a mental capacity to do a business that will generate that kind of money. That money does not belong to Wike. So no favor should be returned to Wike simply because he built houses for the judges. Except the judges needs to go back to primary school to be taught public what public fund means and what public goods means. Do you understand? The money doesn't belong to Wike. It doesn't belong to the minister. It doesn't belong to the governor. It doesn't belong to the president. So if they need to be told that This money belongs to Nigerians, and taxpayers are the owner of this facility. They themselves need to be freed. They did not see it as a favor from Wike, even though the executive still controls some of these functions. It is their inability to understand that this person is not the owner of this money. Do you understand?
So who budgets for the judiciary?
Yes,
because what you are calling a party, what is supposed to be the right thing to do is that the legislature sends their budget to the office of budget. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Now the executive also, as an arm of government, sends their budget to the budget office. Then the judiciary sends their budget to the budget
eventually
office.
All those things still goes to the budget office. It's about the power to cut another person's own. That is where the issue is. It's this legislature that has the power to cut that of the executive. Executive only agrees to that of legislature so that they don't cut their own. Do you understand? So that's why you see that give and take comes in. All of them will still go to the budget office. Don't bother about going to budget office at the end of the day. It's not a problem. The problem is that the legislature has that power. That power of appropriation solely lies with the legislature. The executive cannot spend 1 naira that is not appropriated by the legislature.
But they also need the pen of the president to assent
before it becomes a law.
Before it becomes a law, and they are spending.
Exactly.
But in the issue of PDP at the moment, there's a forth and back. And you said that Wike is a very good lawyer that can put in a good team. I know that you normally say that. And he has been winning all his cases.
Yes.
So if we know that Wike has been winning all his cases, why will I stay? Since he has a very good legal team, according to you, why do you think the PDP will be able to win Wike in the judiciary?
Nobody is saying PDP will be able to win Wike. I don't even believe they will be able to win Wike. As it's just that because the matter before this is sub judice anyway, but we shouldn't go deep into that. Just that the matter before the court is a party administration issue, and the Supreme Court, in that of Labour Party just a while ago, has told us that the court lacks jurisdiction when it comes to internal party administration. Wike
is interpreting to us right now that no matter how Supreme Court has said that, he said, who told you?
So that's the court. Let us see. So he has gone to the court. Let us see. Let it play out. So when it plays out, we'll also see whether Wike still maintains that position of being able to win almost all his cases.
Okay, all right. Now the NJC are being roped into this matter in some form, and the factionalized PDP led by Nyesom Wike is taking the matter to court that Justice Akintola in Ibadan should be sanctioned. What's their basis?
You see, this is where we are in this country. Don't forget that Wike is a member of the body of benchers, and by that position, it also has some influence in the NJIC. Okay, now the people who went to court in Abuja in their own reasoning and got a ruling or a judgment are now petitioning a judge who sat in Ibadan for obvious reason. The matter that was before him is different from the matter was before the Abuja Federal High Court. They are different subject matter, and the man adjudicated on his matter. Just because they felt they had Wike behind them, they now ruled to the NJC. That is why when you said the NJC is on trial, I can't help but to agree with you. Let's see how they are going to rope themselves out of this. Whether they are going to discipline Akintola for doing his job, or they are going to succumb to some aside influence to say that Akintola had not done his job judiciously. Because it is a clear fact that the subject matter before the Ibadan High Court may not be the same as the subject matter in the Federal High Court in Abuja. The parties are not the same. The subject matter are not the same. So what is the basis of Austin Wachukwu and his co-writing petition against Justice Akintola? Are they party to the matter before his court? What is their interest that surpasses every other interest of PDP member? that cannot wait for the Ibadan matter to go on, that Justice Akintola has done harm to. You can see the kind of biasness. That's why I said, the way of appointing judges in this country is something that we need to, look at. Justice Onoga, the former Chief Justice of Nigeria, tried to do something differently before his term was cut short. He wanted to appoint justices from the Court of Appeal and all that. That's why the name of Ogiwa came. He said he made some specification for some lawyers, practicing lawyer, outside there to come straight from the bar to the bench. Those lawyers, they know that they have character to preside over appeal of matters that are coming from a court of first instance. But the man office was cut short for obvious reason, and he could not implement those good policy that would have, refined the judiciary. Because when those lawyers who are already successful in their own private life become judge at the appeal level, which will translate to the Supreme Court, because by the time they be in the appeal for 4 or 5 years, they qualify to go to Supreme Court. That would have refined, the judiciary. Sure. But now it's not. How can a man who is not a party to his suit and it's had nothing to do with write a petition against a man who give a judgment for a suit that has nothing to do with him? And they were talking. The truth remains that yes, of a truth, the judiciary and the NJC, they are serious trial. Let's see what come out of this petition.
Okay, so we heard some news that PDP wants to expel Wike, but I don't know how much time we have for you to talk about it.
Actually, just driving from what he has said, but the BOT are trying to see, they say it's better late than never. The BOT are trying to see if they can reconcile everybody. And in an atmosphere where they are not able to reconcile everybody, and you have somebody among those who are trying to reconcile campaigning openly for somebody from another party, somebody who calls himself a PDP member, openly campaigning for the presidency of Asiwaju for 2027, that is Antiparty. There's nothing else you need to expel Wike. It should have been done since, but like I said, it's better late than never. Just like what he is saying, the plaintiff in the case before Omotosho, Abuja here, there are just 3 of them that are plaintiffs. Only 3 of them does not equate the numerous members of PDP. Those ones also have stake and insurable interest in PDP. They have taken another matter before Justice Akintola, and Justice Akintola is looking at it by the merit. And Justice Akintola will look at the fast before him at Ibadan, not the fast before Omotosho at Abuja, because there are other members of PDP who also have interest in that convention. So it's not the interest in that PDP convention is not reserved for the Abia State chairman of a PDP, Imo State chairman of PDP, and the Southside secretary of PDP.
That's their basis for their judgment that there's going to be a disenfranchisement of a lot of people.
Whatever they are their basis, but for those who have approached the court,
yes,
those who have approached the court also have interest in PDP convention, like they too have approached the court. So you can't preclude any other person. Their own interest might not be your own interest. The matters are before the court. So they should go ahead, like you said, NJC is on trial. They will weigh whether it's the same matter was before them or not.
Yes. Okay, in closing, Philip, Babache Lawa talked about security.
Yeah, Babache Lawa was former SGF of the Federation. So if he make any statement, we should take him seriously. He has said that, yes, one of the problems we have, the Nigerian army had today that is making us to make progress in the war against insecurity is that the bandits are more armed than the Nigerian army. It's, like I said, having manned that position, he had a lot of information within his disposal would not have. But the question I asked him is that if you know, as a man of that high caliber of person, that the bandits were armed, what did the government do in your time to arm the Nigerian government way beyond the bandits so that they can defeat the bandit? Why crying out? Why is it that each time they are out of office, that is when they will now have a solution to our problem? That is only then they can speak truth to authority.
Maybe that time he was busy trying to get contracts.
So what is it that you see medicine after death? There's already a dead body. Why buy medicine for the dead body? You should have done that before.
Just briefly, he said the enablement of the enablers of the bandit was as a result of the fact that they did things that they shouldn't have done. One of it is the Muslim soldiers together that they flew under the APC government, that it emboldened the bandits to do what they are doing. Of course, there's a video making the rounds. This one is not speculation, that the reason they are into banditry is because the officials told them to go into banditry. And now they've also called them that they should stop banditry and that they are going to stop. I mean, what kind of a bogus statement or audacious statement?
Since Trump released that tweet, which obviously none of us want any foreign power to come and into our country to do anything. It's just because the government has failed everybody. But before now, have you seen any northern leader telling bandits that you don't have right to take over our local government, you don't have right to declare taxes, that you don't have right to take over a territory, you don't have right to prevent our farmers from going to their farms, you don't have right to come and be raping our women, you don't have right to go into communities in the Plateau State, sack everybody there, kill them while they are sleeping, go to Benue while people are sleeping in the villages, defenseless villages, you sack them, go to Zamfara, do the same thing. Did you see our leaders talking? Until Donald Trump sent a tweet, all of them have suddenly realized that we have a sovereignty. But the sovereignty that was being impaired, the sovereignty that they banned these dirty looking people, you need to see them, smelly looking people are preventing our people from going to farm. These dirty looking people killing our soldiers, killing our police officers, doing all they could do, burning churches, burning mosques in some cases. Did you see these voices talking now? I heard that there were protests about 2-3 days ago, anti-Trump protests. I encourage those people, after anti-Trump protests, let them do anti-bandit protests, so that this nation can stand on its feet. Kano
has not been raided the way Kano has been under.
So when Babachi says something like that, you find out that there is temperature of people who are okay with banditry. They suddenly have not become okay with banditry because Donald Trump has spoken, and it's a shame.
Amupitan spoke about the culpability of the people in government today, and that their hand is in this banditry stuff, and now they are calling for his head. Now, is it when you speak against the bandit that they call for your head, or when Trump speaks against the bandit that you say we have a sovereignty?
It is very clear. If you have the like of Gumi, you don't need to ask this question. Whether if you speak against the banditry, they will call for your head. If you have listened to Gumi, you have listened to Patani to say that these bandits are Islamic brothers, and the bandit is like a brain cancer that you need to treat with care. You don't need to ask that question, because it means that if you are speaking against the banditry, you are speaking against their Islamic brother. That's what the problem Amupita is having right now, because Amupita is now in charge of INEC, and they are not comfortable, because this is a man who wants to speak against them, who said that this banditry is the continuation of the jihad war started by Udmada Fodu to conquer the entire Nigeria down to the sea, and that what is going on is a Christian genocide. He also said yesterday when Malam Kafo was analyzing, he gave a very clear analysis when he said Gwagwalada is a place that is forest and all of that. Then the FCT ministers are today Wike now built a hospital, a school and all that. Before now, the headers used to go there and graze on those green areas. Now the green area are not there. When they go there, they saw schools, hospital, and people are there. What they should do is to eliminate the people, destroy the property, so that they can have green area to graze on. This is what this our elite from the north are saying, and that is why they are calling for, because Mopita spoke the truth. That's what they are doing. If not, why would they go to a village in a plateau and wipe out the entire village overnight, kill everybody, burn down the village? What are you expecting?
So when they talk about some certain things about grazing route and all that, there are some village roads you use in your villages.
Exactly.
When you go there, the primary school is already there. You don't demolish the primary school. The whole world is moving.
That was Buhari's idea. It's a grazing route.
Roads, railway station has covered all this.
They should destroy the infrastructure so that they can be having.
And that's why you ask the question: are we for developing Nigeria, or are we for religion, or what are we for? And we want a national development. If it is national development, then the development should continue. But if we are for religion, then and for whatever reason, then you can.
And this is 21st century.
Yes.
People are talking about how to go to the moon. People are talking about. You are talking about. Let's take this nation serious.
All right, it's been wonderful having you guys on Matters Arising. Grazing route, is it better than hospital? All right, the Nigerian that works for everybody, that's what Okafor normally tells us. And Pio also tells us the Nigerian that
the new Nigeria is possible.
The new Nigeria is possible. And we believe a new Nigeria is possible. It's a Matters Arising. Thank you.